Alright, welcome fellas. Welcome back to another stream. And I have no idea if anybody's watching this, but you know what? Let's just go ahead, get into it because there's only like 14 minutes left. And yeah, let's just go watch it right now.
Each Starlink V3 launch on Starship is planned to add 60 terabits per second of capacity to the Starlink network. That's more than 20 times the capacity added with every V2 mini launch on Falcon 9. So we're talking about a massive increase in performance all around, which will ultimately enable Starlink to serve as the communications backbone of the missions to the moon.
So, right now, we're 13 minutes away from launch. As you can see, the commentators are talking, so we might as well just let them do my job. So, we'll talk about the launch probably after the mission is ended.
We're looking to get our first re-entry with this iteration of ship, and we're again intentionally stressing Super Heavy during its return. The next generation booster is on the horizon, so the objective is to push and learn all we can from this current version.
All right, let's jump right in. As always, it's going to start with liftoff. Super Heavy ignites 33 engines lifting off from Starbase and ascending. It's going to power that ascent for about 2.5 minutes until we get to hot stage separation. Super Heavy shuts down all but 3 engines, deeply throttles the remaining ones, stage 2 lights its, and flies away. We have stage separation, a directional flip. It's going to descend. We're going to do some landing burn experiments and then do a splashdown in the Gulf.
Meanwhile, ship continues on with its ascent burn, again reaching a planned suborbital trajectory. We'll attempt to deploy 8 Starlink simulator satellites and then head back for re-entry, where we'll be testing multiple experiments, including missing tiles, metallic tiles, and intentionally loading the vehicle's flaps. Ship will also attempt a flip maneuver, and if all goes as planned today, we'll conclude the test with a soft water splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So that's what we have on deck for Flight 10, which is just about 11 minutes, 40 seconds from launching.
That's right. And so just a quick status check-in. So as you said, we're about 11.5 minutes away. We have some good news. We got our latest range and weather status, and surprise, everything is looking green today.
Thank
so
goodness.
that's the biggest news that we were looking for. Again, weather is the main watch item for today, but we are green right now. We're not tracking any issues with the vehicle or ground systems, so we are looking pretty good for launch. We did all of our normal pre-flight checkouts with all the different vehicle and pad systems. At this very moment, we're almost done, or we're pretty far into our prop load on ship, and a little bit more to go on the booster.
Yep, looking closely, it looks like we're nearly closed out on ship, like Dan said, about 70% of the way through on both methane and LOX on the booster side. We'll continue loading prop for a while. We'll close out at about T minus 30 minutes, 20 second on ship, and then 30 seconds later, we'll finish up loading prop on the booster.
Yeah, so bottom line, a little over 10 minutes to go. Range is green, weather is green, vehicles looking healthy. We're looking good to launch right at the top of our window at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
Can't wait. All right, now let's quickly talk about Mars, since everything we do is part of our foundational mission to get to the Red Planet. Each Starship launch is to learn more and more about what's needed to make life multiplanetary and to improve ship to the point where it's taking millions of people to Mars.
Yeah.
2 minus 10 minutes and counting, fellas. Let's see how this launch goes. Weather is go for today, which is what scrubbed the launch yesterday. So hopefully we can clear that off right now. And I think our weather should stay like that for the next 10 minutes. So let's go.
The transit, doing the entry, and just doing a landing.
And in our next window, around 2028 to 2029, we're going to attempt to land the initial infrastructure and start delivering more equipment as well, while evaluating available resources on the Red Planet. And we will also have Optimus on board for the ride, who is designed to do the initial heavy lifting.
Oh,
Look, the flaps are moving.
coming up on 9 minutes. Back to Mars, though, as those wrap up by about 2030, 2031, we'll continue to increase the payload per ship, build out more infrastructure out there on Mars's surface, start to mine some of those resources, set up some propellant generation plants, build up some fuel and some oxidizer to send starships back from Mars. By the time we get all the way to 2033, we're looking to double the amount of payload we're sending with each ship as we get closer and closer to building a self-sustaining presence on the Red Planet.
Yeah, definitely lots of exciting missions ahead of us, and these are going to be crucial to setting up what we'll need for humans to eventually inhabit the planet, and we won't be doing this alone. The Italian Space Agency and SpaceX recently signed a first of its kind agreement to carry Italian experiments on the first Starship missions to deliver customer payloads to Mars. So these payloads will include a plant growth experiment, a weather monitoring station, and also a radiation sensor to gather scientific data during Starship's approximately 6-month interplanetary coast phase from Earth to Mars and also on the Martian surface.
It's a really exciting mission. Makes showing up for work really fun for us. We're going to need to launch a whole lot more, though. So while we're just under 8 minutes away from launch today, let's head back over to Tyler and Hawthorne, talk a little bit about how we're going to be increasing the number of Starship launches going forward. Tyler?
Thank you, Dan and Amanda. So to put it plainly, in order to launch more Starships, we need to build more launch pads. And that's exactly what we're doing at Space Launch Complex 37 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Now, Pad 37 has a storied history, most recently with the Delta IV rocket and for the missions for the US government. And prior to that, the pad supported critical development for the Apollo lunar program in the 1960s. And we are honored to have the opportunity to continue making spaceflight history at Pad 37 with Starship. But first, we need to optimize the pad. So earlier this year, we started dismantling some of the existing infrastructure to prep the site for Starship operations. This will include up to 76 launches a year, with up to 152 landings at that location for Super Heavy and for Starship. And to support this flight rate, we plan on building 2 launch pads. Each will have 1 tower that can support launch and landing, plus deflector systems, launch mounts, and water deluge systems. This will also include a propellant farm that will produce propellant on-site and serve both launch pads. So there is a lot of work in progress, but Pad 37 is only one part of our plan for Starship operations in Florida. A few miles away from Pad 37 at Kennedy Space Center, our 380-foot-tall vertical integration facility called Gigabay is under construction. Once complete next year, Gigabay will be capable of housing multiple Starships simultaneously for rapid assembly and integration. And meanwhile, at Launch Complex 39A, we're building Starship's infrastructure to support up to 44 launches and up to 88 landings a year, independent of operations at Pad 37. So with 2 launch complexes in Florida, we'll have the ability to fly up to 120 Starships annually, not including our flights from Starbase. So action is well underway in Florida. How's it looking in Texas?
Thanks, Tyler. Things are continuing to look good for launch here in Texas, so getting pretty close here with just under 6 minutes left. You mentioned Gigabay. We're currently laying the foundation for a Gigabay here at Starbase as well, and we expect it to be up and running sometime next year. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of Starships on the way, and we're going to need more hands on deck. So come help us build the gateway to Mars. Visit spacex.com/careers to see all of our openings.
Yeah, I've been here for a couple of years now. Nowhere more magical, more inspirational on the planet. If you're a space nerd, you can come be like Amanda and build these things for real. It's pretty insane. It's super exciting. And yeah, come check us out. All right.
Absolutely. It's surreal to be here for sure. Okay, so we are looking like we're about 5 minutes away from launch and heading into terminal count. Range.
Lads, we're heading into terminal count, lads. T-minus 4 minutes and 50 seconds away from the launch of Starship Flight 10. Godspeed.
Grab my numbers real quick. We're not tracking any issues. We are just creeping up to 90% full on the locks on the booster, a little over 93% on fuel on the booster, and then ship we're just about to close out, so only a couple of minutes to go there. Once we're done, you've got just shy of 11 million pounds of liquid propellant on board those 2 different stages. We'll see a couple of final things happen. Well, you can't really see it. It's all going to be happening in our ground systems as we'll do pushbacks, clear all of the propellant out of those lines that are flowing up through the tower and into the vehicles, and get ready for launch. We just did our final guidance, navigation, and control system checkouts. Our flight safety system is being armed right now, and we're doing our final wiggle checks shortly with the engines on the thrust vector control. It's how we're steering the rocket. if we need to hold, which we are not currently tracking a reason to hold, that would come at T-minus 40 seconds. You saw us do that yesterday. We can hang out there for about 8 minutes or so right now. That's the point. It's built into the countdown. If we need to wait for clouds that just won't go the heck away or any other issues, we can hang out at T-minus 40 for a bit. But at the moment, we're not planning to do that.
Now, once we pass that T-minus 40-second mark, a number of events are going to occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight pressure. Ship will switch over to internal power, and after that, the QD arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction, which occurs shortly after T0. And once we pass that T-minus 40 seconds, we do still have the ability to then recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened, and if we can proceed again back down to liftoff.
That's right. We do have at least one point of no return, though, if the water-cooled flame deflector underneath the launch mount fires off. That happens a little bit after T-minus 10 seconds. That doesn't turn off once it starts going, so we would have to stand down for the day if we do hit a hold or an abort at that point, so we can refill water tanks. At this point, we're not sure if we'd be able to attempt tomorrow because we have fully loaded the vehicle. We have to do a lot of fancy scheduling to get propellant in here as fast as possible, but again, we've got a pretty heroic and amazing team that works all of those logistics, got us into our attempt today after we did a unplanned wet dress yesterday during our attempt. So really exciting to see. But we're coming up on 2 minutes. We've got a green range. We are green for weather. Green has always been my favorite color, only more so now. And we are not tracking any issues with the vehicle today. So we are looking good. 2 minutes to go.
120 seconds, less than 120 seconds to go. We're almost 110 seconds, yes. We're approaching the final minute to the launch, so everybody buckle your seatbelts, and for some reason the quality is going down, but who cares about that? Starship's launching.
It's us a lot more flexibility, so super useful to be able to have that, but again, not currently tracking any issues, so hopefully we'll be good to launch today.
All right, coming up on 90 seconds, we've got a pretty good crowd gathering with us right outside Star Factory here at Starbase. Looks like we're getting a quick TVC, that wiggle check.
This is my favorite view of the rocket.
Right under the launch mount. All right, so we've got crowds gathered out at Hawthorne, crowds gathered here at Starbase.
Super fun to see people getting to watch out on the front lawn now.
1 minute to go to launch. All right, so again, our hold point comes up at T-minus 40, not tracking any reason to stop there, so we should see us go right through that. All right, we are through T-minus 40. We are counting down. We're gonna let our flight director, Maciek Batura, take us the rest of the way. 30 seconds, the 10th liftoff of Starship.
Here we go, 23 seconds, 22, 21, 20 seconds left. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Here we go.
T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Booster chamber pressure nominal.
All right, we're a little over 40 seconds into flight. 33 out of
Booster and
33
ship,
Raptor
avionics,
engines.
power and telemetry nominal.
Getting good call outs, healthy systems on the booster as it starts to pitch over the Gulf. All right, we're a little over 1 minute into flight, about to pass through max Q.
Max Q.
All right, so we are through the period of maximum dynamic pressure, max stress on the vehicle as it continues to fly.
Our next major event is going to be hot staging, which is happening in just over 90 seconds from now. To get ready, the booster will shut down all but 3 of its Raptor engines. The clamps holding the 2 stages together will release, and the Starship second stage ignites its engines. The ship then separates from the Super Heavy booster and heads to space. At the same time, the 3 engines still firing on Super Heavy will flip the booster around. 10 more engines will ignite for the boost back burn, putting the first stage on the path for splashdown in the Gulf. As we mentioned
Looks like we
earlier,
have
the
one
hot
engine
stage
out,
will be
fellas, in the
jettisoned for
center,
this flight,
13.
and that should
The center
occur just
13, one
after
engine
the
is out,
boost
but
back
that's
burn.
alright.
So we're about to shut down the first stage and perform hot staging. So let's just watch and listen.
Hopefully that's a nominal reorientation. Let's hope that's a nominal reorientation. Come on, come on, come on. Is that stage set? No, 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 that's just the venting. Oh goodness. Okay, it's reorienting.
All right, seeing the engine start to throttle down.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot of the Earth downrange. Come on.
Miko.
Miko? Come on, please. Yes?
Ship ignition.
Come on. Yes!
Boost back burn startup.
Yes!
Stage separation.
Successful hot staging. We got a successful hot staging. Let's go.
Stage separation confirmed. We've got 6 engines running on ship. Booster is doing its boost back burn, continuing now towards its splashdown site in the Gulf.
Ship
We are
Raptor
seeing
chamber
all 6
pressure is
Raptors
nominal.
lit up on ship.
Alright.
You heard them report ship chamber pressure is nominal, so that chamber pressure, just that expected thrust level in those Raptor engines on the ship. 3 vacuum optimized,
Ship
3 sea
avionics,
level,
power and
all
telemetry
looking
nominal.
good.
Okay, looks like we just had a successful cutoff on the other 13 there. Unfortunately,
There's
we
a
don't
view
really
into
have
the business end from the ship.
telemetry
Boost
over
back burn
there.
shutdown.
Oh, there we do have the telemetry now. And successful booster engine cutoff. Boost back shutdown.
All right, so at this point, we finished our boost back burn, so that was shut down. So that's the first of the 2 burns after a launch that the booster's going to do today. So now it's headed towards the Gulf. It's not going to be quite as an aggressive of a flight down. We relaxed that angle of attack a little bit, but we are then going to be looking for it to do its engine tests for the landing burn, and those are going to be a little unique this time.
Yeah, typically we start with all 13 inner engines lit for that landing burn and bring that down to just the center 3. But one of our test objectives for today is to simulate what an engine out situation would look like. So we're going to be intentionally turning off one of those center 3 and instead lighting one of the engines from the middle 10 ring.
Yeah, we did see one of those engines in the
that's a
middle
good
ring
view.
shut down
see the
during
hot
the
staging
initial
ring
ascent. Oh,
separate.
looks like we have hot stage jettison. You can see it floating away there to the left of the booster.
Boosters coming in really
Yeah, we did
fast,
see one of those
60
middle engines
kilometers
shut down
right
during
now.
the ascent. Again, we are resilient to engine out on Super
Starship
Heavy.
Flight,
That's why we're
nominal
able to get through
trajectory.
our ascent. Starship flying on the expected path. There's still a chance that engine could be back in the mix for the very start of the landing burn, so we'll see if we light up all 13. But we've even done a landing burn at the tower with an engine out, so very resilient. We'll see how it does on its way down to the Gulf, though.
Right, she's looking good.
All right, so we got a couple of minutes. That landing burn start should be just about 40 seconds away.
Why is the ship turning sideways? Let's hope that's normal.
That's
Booster
always
FTS
rad. You
saved.
can see the boost plume itself in the background as it was coming in. All right, about 20 seconds to landing burn.
Ship Raptor chamber pressure is nominal.
All right, here we go.
Landing burn startup.
Looks like we got 12 of those 13.
Yes, we're gonna land
Down
the
to
booster.
3,
We're gonna land
including one of the
booster.
middle ring.
A bit shaky, but there it is. There it is. Well, look, it's compensating. It's compensating. There we go, down to 2 inches.
Down to 2.
And shut
Landing
down.
burn
Nice
shutdown.
little hover. And landing burn shutdown.
Yes.
And into the Gulf, here we come. And the booster has splashed down.
Okay, now it's all on you.
Incredible flight for Booster today.
Meanwhile, back in space, about 7 minutes into today's flight, ship continuing its ascent burn. This goes until just about 9 minutes into our flight. That ship engine cutoff is slated for 8 minutes and 57 seconds. We are going to see those 3 RVAC, the Raptor vacuum engines. Those are the bigger circles in that
Okay,
little
so
indicator
far
on the
it's
bottom
looking
right of
alright.
your
It's
screen.
looking
Those will
alright.
shut down first. And we continue burning for a couple seconds longer on those inner 3 before we hit SECO, or second engine cutoff.
Yeah, these views are looking great. Once again, thanks to Starlink for getting us these views. It's just incredible. And we just heard the sound from Booster.
It's like we just got a late boom from the booster.
Must have been the sonic boom.
Yeah, we have ship engine cutoff coming up here just shortly. And as we mentioned, today's flight test is not an orbital flight, but rather one that demonstrates Starship's orbital capability.
Starship from terminal guidance.
All right, entering the final phase of this burn. Under 30 seconds to go.
I have so much anxiety for the ship's rotation right now. They better not mess this up again.
All right, shut down the vacuum engines.
RVAC shutdown, holding on for the RC levels. Should see that coming up very shortly. Shutdown.
Ship engine cutoff.
We shut down those center 3. Successful ship engine
Yep,
cutoff.
there they go. That's good. That's good. Let's hope they stay control in control
SECO,
this
baby.
time.
There we go. That's what we want.
Only time can
Nominal
tell.
orbit insertion.
All right, we just heard the call out for nominal orbital insertion.
All right, so ship is in space. There we go. We're seeing the flaps starting to move into a stowed position. That's why it looks like your camera's moving.
Yeah, exciting to see Starship safely in space and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today. And of course, as guaranteed, it's been an exciting day so far. We successfly lifted off
Look at
right
the
on time
flaps
at
moving. It's
6:30
very
p.m.
majestic,
Central
isn't it?
Time. Thankfully, our weather was looking good today. Yeah, and Booster, we had our soft splashdown in the Gulf, so ship continues on.
Yeah, ship able to complete its ascent burn all the way in. You can see some of the shadows start to creep as it's going to be eventually flying into an orbital nighttime. So we'll see some daylight start to go away. But ship is in orbit, completed its burn. And I mean, that's just the beginning. Now we've got a whole bunch more to go. So we've got some exciting demonstrations
Ship
planned
FTS is
while
safe.
we're on orbit.
FTS is saved.
That right there, we just saved the FTS, the flight termination system. That's that automatic flight safety system we have on the vehicle. So that is now turned off while ship starts its coast period.
Looks like the
We
ship is
are coming up.
The ship is moving a little bit, I guess. Probably reorienting once again. So, in approximately 18 minutes and 27 seconds, we will be deploying the payload, which is our Starlink simulators. And that should finish by around 25 minutes and 32 seconds. Then at 37 minutes and 48 seconds, we should have a Raptor in-space relight demo, so let's hope that goes well too. And just a little under 10 minutes later, we should be having Starship entry back into Earth's atmosphere.
We are on a suborbital trajectory, but this is essentially a chance to test out what we need to be able to do a deorbit burn. So we'll be doing that a little bit later in the flight, about 37 minutes or so into the flight. And then we get into reentry. We're looking to get that light show and, more importantly, get that really critical data about the ship's heat shield.
Yeah, exactly. At about T plus 45 minutes, we'll be heading for reentry. Again, running those experiments with the tiles. We're going to be doing missing tiles, metallic tiles, and also intentionally loading those vehicles' flaps. Hopefully, we'll also see a splashdown in the Indian Ocean today.
Yeah, we were able to get to a reentry last time, but we didn't have full attitude control, so we weren't able to go in, heat shield first the way we're designed to. So we ended up losing contact with the ship before we could make it all the way through. So you still get data, but you're not really getting the data that we want to make sure we're kind of stress testing the vehicle. As Amanda just said, we removed a bunch of tiles, and we do this in some intentionally scary places on the vehicle because we're really looking, are there spots that were vulnerable to this? Before we ever start moving towards, putting ship into a full orbital mission to then do reentries a little bit later on. So really, really critical to get that data, really looking forward to a controlled reentry.
Yeah, for sure. As we always say, our main payload is data, but today we also have some actual payload on board, and those simulators that Starship will be deploying, we'll see coming up here in just a few minutes.
It's turning orange. Oh, look at that, the inside. But I feel like we're about to go into the night zone for this mission, so it's gonna be in the night, so yeah, that's why it's turning orange. The glow from the sunset, I guess. And there it is.
And in fact, it's Starlink that's currently providing these views you see as Starship cruises a couple hundred kilometers above our home planet and provides real-time telemetry through every phase of flight.
Yeah, we took a peek inside of the Starship payload bay there for a second. So there's 8 of them there. They kind of look just big steel plates, essentially. They're roughly the same size as those V3 satellites. When we do get that view inside of the payload bay, the payload door will kind of be on your right, and we'll start to see them go out like a Pez dispenser. Yeah, here's a look inside. So those right down there in the center, they're kind of 2 stacks of 4 on either side, and then the payload door is just to their right. And so we'll look to see that open, and then those satellites start to go. We vent the nose cone, so we essentially bring it down to vacuum before we open the door. That was one of the things we ran into on the last flight, as when we had that fuel diffuser fail, the pressure in the nose cone became basically too high for the actuator of the door to open. So that's why we weren't able to get the door open that time. We have not seen anything like that on this flight. Everything's looking good with our fuel tank and our fuel press system. So we are hopefully just a couple of minutes away from seeing that payload door open and getting to our first ever payload. It's not the first payload we've ever carried, but it's the first one we're going to try and shoot off into space. All right, so I think we're supposed to open the payload door in just about a minute and change. And you're seeing a little bit of residual gas. And we opened the door once. I want to say it was back on flight 3 when we were able to make it up into space. And you'll kind of see a lot of that gas rushing out into the vacuum of space. It's the residual that's left over after we've already vented it down. So kind of a cool light show. And then we'll get ready to deploy those payloads out.
Let's hope that door opens this time, and like last time, where it just got stuck. Yeah. Let's hope the door
And
opens
as
here.
we mentioned, so we have crossed over now at this point into an orbital nighttime, so views from the outside will get pretty dark, but we'll see what we can see. We do this by design. We've been launching these later in the day here in Texas to try and get daytime views when we splash down. So it's daytime over in the Indian Ocean, where we are currently headed.
Just a few seconds until we expect those payload doors to open.
All right, one more time. Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Hey, they're moving, they're opening. Oh my goodness. It's actually opening. Please don't break, please don't break. It's opening.
So we are currently in payload deploy
I think
prep.
it's open. I think it's open.
And the door is open. All right, so the payload door is open. We should see the first satellites start to deploy at about T plus 18 minutes and 27 seconds. So should be only about 30 seconds. So one step closer. Hal listened this time. He cooperated. He opened the payload door for us. There's a view kind of behind the Pez here looking out into the vacuum of space.
About 15 seconds until payload deploy.
Oh, here we go. This is exciting. And the camera's glitching on us on the best possible time. Come on. What's happening?
Ship has transitioned to payload deploy.
Please. Come on, guys. Hello? Anybody there? Please release this pallet of crates. Well, it's just pallets. Release these pallets into the void of space. Whoa, it's moving. Oh, go on. Yes, it's going.
There we go.
It's going. Goodbye. Please don't get stuck out there. Yes. It's working.
Pew pew. Been waiting way too long to do that. There we go.
It's working, bro. It's working.
There goes another one.
Release. Oh, it just hit the door right there.
Super exciting moment as you can hear the energy in both Hawthorne and Starbase. Everyone's super excited for finally getting to deploy some of those simulated satellites.
Pez system moving down. Next row. There we go.
Another one going.
As we said, we're going to do about one every minute or so. And this is just kind of a dress rehearsal for when we're going to be deploying the V3 satellites. And these are just a massive increase to Starlink's capability. Each one of them has its 60 terabits per second of capacity that's going to get added to the network per launch. That's 20 times more than what we're adding with every single Falcon 9 launch today, which, you know, step increase in capability. There goes another one.
There it goes into the void of the night. Yes, look at the bike chain on the right. The bike chain.
All right, so as we said, we've got 8 total that we're going to go through today. It's about a minute for each one, but looking good on payload deploy.
There. Another one coming out. And goodbye. You can hear them chanting Starlink in the background.
All right, so we're about halfway through. When we actually start launching the V3 Starlinks on Starship, we're going to be flying about 60 each time. So it'll be about an hour to get through a full stack. But again, it's just going to be a massive increase in the amount of bandwidth. It's going to enable, gigabit upload, download for people with Starlink, anywhere on the planet. And for us, Starlink is just a tremendous part of just the Starship flight test program.
Yeah, absolutely. Always getting us that data, and yeah, the amazing views we have on the vehicle today.
Yeah, views brought to you by Starlink of us deploying Starlink simulators before we deploy actual Starlinks. How deep does it go? All right, another one firing out.
Why is this kind of ridiculous, not gonna lie? Another one. Get another one out there. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Pez looking smooth today.
Come on. I've noticed the ship's rotation changed a little, probably for the Starlinks, so they don't hit each other, I guess. Yes. Another one out.
All right, looks like we've got one left.
Oh, yes,
Almost
this is the
there.
last one.
Yeah, there you go. One remaining, so 7 of the 8 have been deployed. One more to go.
There we go.
And then we will have completed our first ever payload deploy operation.
There. Goodbye.
Just a reminder, we're on a suborbital trajectory. These satellites on that exact same suborbital trajectory, they're going to burn up entirely and around that same trajectory towards the Indian Ocean. So the last
They just cut off the views for the satellite.
Starlink simulator payload complete. Heck yeah, everybody.
Loving the energy from Starbase and Hawthorne.
There, now it's empty. Looking a little lonely, but
Successfully deployed all the simulator satellites.
really, really cool to see them all out there. Again, people that have followed know Starlink's really critical for the Starship program, in addition to, getting all those views back from the cameras on Starship, which this is an external view. As I said, it's dark outside right now. The lights are off, so it's going to be hard to make stuff out, but in a little while, the sun's going to start coming up as we get to re-entry, which is going to be really critical.
I think that is.
We use Starlink for Starship data. Cameras also use it on the cameras that we use to bring you
I think this is the front flap, probably. Oh, hey, look, the light went off.
How it all comes together. Like, we're using Starlink on the planet, off the planet. And with Starship, we actually get a pretty insane. If you're in the space industry, you know bandwidth to space is usually pretty minimal. We get about 120 megabits per second. That's split between our high definition video and real time telemetry. We get that every phase of flight, including reentry. So it's not just giving us views of reentry, but we're getting all of that engineering data in real time through phases that it used to be impossible to get that in real time. So just really incredible.
Yeah, Starlink definitely affords us all this capability. And reminder, it's the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people all around the world, many of whom had never had connectivity before. Today, Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets, with over 6 million active customers and counting. To meet the growing global demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory in Bastrop, Texas, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard kit.
All right, now with payload deploy complete, pew, 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 Starship is now going to close its payload bay door and continue to coast towards Earth, around Earth, towards the Indian Ocean. Sorry, I'm really excited today. We are in space, people. Still a lot of major events to come, though. We are looking to relight one of those Raptor engines at about 37 minutes, 33 seconds into the flight, followed by atmospheric entry, hell of a light show, and splashdown. So we're going to go on a quick break, take a quick coast, sit back, enjoy the views. A little bit dark now, but they'll get better soon. A couple of space jams. We'll be back in just a few minutes for that Raptor relight and then re-entry. See you soon.
Alright, so that's pretty good. I mean, let's recap everything that just happened. I mean, right now we're in space. Everything looks normal. Orientation looks good. We're in the middle of the Atlantic right now. 185 kilometers and velocity 26,344 kilometers per hour. Right now we have a view of the empty payload bay where eight of the dummy payload Starlinks successfully deployed earlier. And right now we are still waiting up on a Raptor relight at around 37 minutes, I believe. 37 minutes and 48 seconds, yes. So that's in around 9 minutes to go. And looks like the door is closed actually. The door for the payload bay is closed. And that's pretty good. Very successful mission today so far. We had a good launch on the time scheduled. And yeah, unlike yesterday, it wasn't delayed at all. It was flawless. Weather was 55% go and we lifted off. Nominal ascent. There was a engine cutoff in the center 13, I believe. Yes, then we can rewind that actually. Let's rewind that. Let's rewind there. Let's move. Oh, never mind. It's Twitter, so I can't rewind. Or can I? Hold on. Actually, you know what? I might mess this up, so I don't want to do it. I'm very bad at streaming, so probably might mess this up. Hey, look, there's one guy here. Hey, welcome. I don't know if he left, but if he ever comes back, thank you for showing up. Like, there's nobody ever in these streams anyways. Nobody ever watches these, so that's alright. Anyways, yes, we had a successful liftoff earlier. A successful ship separation from the booster. Booster landed in the Gulf of America, quote unquote. Successful landing there. We even saw a good shot of that explosion on the NASA spaceflight stream, so you can check that out if you want. and then the ship went up normally and performed a successful ascent burn and successful sequel, reoriented, and then deployed the 8 Starlink demos. And that brings us to where we are right now, approximately 6 minutes away from our next objective, which is to have a in-space relight. So yeah, you know what? Since there's nothing else really to talk about, we can just go ahead and let the audio play, which is actually, I don't know if this is copyrighted music, but you know what? Let's just risk it for the sake of science. Alright, hey, it's good to see you guys again. Welcome back. So it looks like it's 37. Yes, we're approximately 2 minutes away from the in-space relight, which is coming up very shortly. Like I said, in 2 minutes. It's our objective is 37 minutes and 48 seconds. So now that's currently 1 minute and 48 seconds away, where SpaceX will relight one sea level vacuum Raptor, I believe, for a short amount of time. And we should be, yes, we should be approaching soon that milestone. Let's hope this one goes well. I'm seeing the ship's orientation is changing, so I believe that could be for the Raptor reignition. Let's hope that's nominal. It looks like the music's going down and the commentators are about to rejoin us, so let's stand by.
Ever payload. We got 8 of those Starlink simulators out, and now we are expecting the relight of a single Raptor engine. That should be coming up in just a little under a minute. We're going to be lighting just one of those Raptor sea levels in the middle there. This is not a deorbit burn. It's a demonstration of what we'll have to do for deorbit burns, but we've done this once before. This is something we're really going to have to do when we're doing orbital missions, so it's a pretty critical test. We are just a couple seconds away.
That's 20 seconds to go. Come on, let's go.
Sorry, we're about 20 seconds away, psych. So we got a little bit more time. So we are going to see one of those Raptor engines light back up. We are through the deorbit demo gate, so we should be seeing it momentarily.
Relight demo startup. And shutdown.
Ooh, that's pretty nice. Look at that. You can see the engines going facing
All right,
outwards.
looks like we confirmed the relight of one of those center Raptor engines. Second time we've done that. Super exciting.
Nominal
Huge
orbit
congrats
insertion.
to the team on this milestone. Very exciting to see.
That was a cool light show. Yeah, I get to do a mini version here. So again, that's going to be really critical for when we're doing deorbit burns. Like as you're going through, which if you don't have one of these, my God, they're so much fun. But like you're able to actually like light. Oh, Dan, turn it on. Light that engine. Not set my co-host on fire. And that's what we'll eventually do to, break out of orbit, come back down to Earth. So really cool to see one of those engines light back up again in space. That was our last in-space thing.
Very exciting. We're going to be heading back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. So we're going to take another quick break and we will see you soon.
Alright, that is very impressive. So far, aside from re-entry, I don't want to jinx it yet, knock on wood. We just saw a successful in-space relight of the sea level engine. And in just about 9 minutes from now, 8 minutes actually. 8 minutes from now, we should see Starship entry interface. So, as you can see, we're just over Africa right now. Just the southern tip of Africa, and we're heading towards the Indian Ocean, and that's our expected splashdown site. So it shows that we are on course and ready for the entry. The ship's attitude looks nominal. Nominal? Oh hell nah! I fell for it. Nominal. It looks like we don't really have views from. Oh, actually, never mind. We do. But what is that? What is that pile of debris on the outside over there? I think that's ice. Hopefully. That better be ice. But it doesn't look like ice to me. But let's hope that in the spirit of Starship Flight 4, the flap stays fine even though re-entry could be scary as hell. Oh, there was an announcement there. I didn't quite catch it. I'm sorry for yapping all the time. But it looks like the flaps are moving into position. The altitude, yes, you can see it's going up. Altitude is now 127 kilometers. And yes, aside from re-entry, all objectives of the mission so far have been complete. So in my eyes, this is a success already. But it would be a really good bonus if you could see the re-entry go well. You can even see the Earth moving in the background if you guys have sharp enough eyes to see that. Oh, there, you can see it actually. Those gotta be city lights. Yeah, see? I think you can see them too. So right now, we are now approximately 6 minutes to re-entry, guys. 6 minutes to re-entry. Oh, that's some pretty venting, isn't it? Ah, it's odd, really oddly bright there, isn't it? Oh, never mind. So it looks like we'll just be waiting. Altitude 119 kilometers. We're getting pretty close. Then we hear that call out there. Starship is approaching entry interface. So that's very quick. Very quick. That's not the right word. That's in a short amount of time from now. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking for now. Let you guys appreciate it. Hey, if you look at that top left corner over there, you can see some ice. Oh, well, it's gone now. Whoa, that's some steel peeled off over there. Look at that. Some steel got, yeah, I saw that earlier. There was like a vibration, wasn't there? It must have been like a tiny explosion or something. I think it was very early in the flight when we had, that, they call this? We were in the scent burn, yeah. I saw that there's a vibration in the front flap. Yeah, it probably looked like from an explosion or something, but let's not jump to assumptions here. You know, spaceflight is very experimental. Everything here is just my opinion. Hey, look, it's the dragon logo. And it looks like we're heading into the daytime. Yeah. I don't want to make any assumptions, fellas, because, you know, I'm just an idiot. Oh, it's that plasma. That's plasma. Holy crap, that's plasma. We're in entry. Yep, that was fast. Let's hope that flap stays on for entry. Let's pray for ship 29 to bless us.
Flight test of Starship.
Oh, there they
And
hear the
as you can see, the light
commentators.
show has started. Re-entry has begun. We are starting to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. We're moving about 5 times the speed of sound, and we're about to start barreling through the Earth's atmosphere and head for a splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We don't plan to recover the spacecraft today, but if we do make it all the way down to the water, who knows? But the goal of this part of the flight is to learn as much as we can about the ship's heat shield. A fully reusable, rapidly reusable heat shield for a spacecraft has never been done before. It's one of kind of the hardest engineering challenges still out there for us. And so this is a time to really dig in and get that data.
quick note. I'm noticing that we're having a really shallow entry. Look at that, 94.8 kilometers. Like, we're dropping really slowly. And I don't know if that's gonna be good for the damage flap, but let's hope that everything's nominal.
Design, and if the ship manages to make it all the way to re-entry, it will collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound.
Yeah, throughout history, a lot of times this is when you go into just a complete data and insight blackout, where that plasma sheath builds up around the outside of the spacecraft that blocks all of your signals that are trying to fight through to talk to either satellites out in space or towers down on the ground. Starship's big size kind of gives us a wake, but what really helps us punch through is the fact that we're using Starlink. We're operating at just a much higher frequency.
Whoa!
That's
What
not
the hell
we
is
wanna
that?
See. So we just saw some of the aft skirt just take a hit.
Whoa!
So we've got some visible damage on the aft skirt. We're continue to re-enter though. And again, we are intentionally stressing the ship as we go through this. So
That's
it
not
is not
good.
guaranteed
That's
to
really
be
not
a
good.
smooth ride down to the Indian Ocean. We've removed a bunch of tiles in kind of critical places across the vehicle.
Not good.
So seeing stuff like that is still valuable to us. We are trying to kind of
Can we
push
have an
this
engine
vehicle
review,
to the
please?
limits
We need to see
learn
that
what its
damage
limits
right
are
now.
as we design our next version of Starship. So 47 minutes, 45 seconds into the flight.
No way, bro.
Excitement ticking up a little bit on re-entry already, but the light show is continuing. This re-entry is going to take about 20 minutes or so until our planned splashdown. We were trying to splash down about 1 hour and 6 minutes into
That's
the
so
flight.
bad. That's so bad.
Yeah, and one day Starship is designed to land on Mars, where there are obviously no runways or other humans to help us out. So we are doing propulsive landing instead of more traditional means such as parachutes. And propulsive landing enables us.
I'm sorry for muting the commentators, guys, but we're just gonna gloss over the fact we saw an explosion in the engine bay. Like, that's ridiculous. No offense, but like, oh my goodness, look at that! It's curled up over there. Oh wow, look at that view though. It's incredible. Oh gosh. Let's hope that the little skirt that could can keep us safe here.
We're going to continue hearing some callouts as the ship makes its way back to Earth. So when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q, that will mean the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through those, we can say we're doing pretty well.
I will say I'm happy re-entry cleaned off this camera for us. It was a little dirty from the weather, so thank you, Plasma, for giving us this view as we start coming down. The hit we saw to the skirt, definitely interesting. I will note, when we started doing these missing tile tests, we were intentionally removing them only in the skirt, as that's, you know, that's not over your fuel tanks or anything else that's kind of structurally critical for keeping the entire vehicle together. That obviously exposes your engines.
Whoa, the flaps
so
are ablating.
that could do some things for our landing burn.
That's not good.
But for now, we are obviously continuing with this re-entry.
Let's
we
just
are
hope
committed
that even
to
if
Indian
something
Ocean.
bad
Here we
happens,
come.
the
50
cameras
minutes
pull
since
through for
launch.
us.
We're going to see those colors start to build up a little bit. We are at the point where we're in dense enough atmosphere that the flaps have control. So about 74 kilometers in altitude.
Those vibrations are insane.
You were starting to see some sunlight, so we intentionally time these launches right now so we have daylight. The sun should actually come up over the horizon on Starship in about 3 minutes. So as we get a little bit further into this...
I swear, if we see this thing split in half, I'm going to go nuts. Imagine it just splits in half. I'd be horrified, but also amazed at the same time. Oh, look at that ablation.
We've got these cameras.
That's a big ablation. Oh no. Oh no.
The flaps, as not just the heat shield, but these flaps, how they're able to control the vehicle, withstand that reentry, the seal locations, so kind of where they connect to the ship itself are some of the most critical. We will do missing tiles on those where, again, we're trying to, we're kind of being mean to this Starship a little bit. We're really trying to put it through the paces and kind of poke on what some of its weak points are. I mean, we even have missing tiles over some of those fuel tank sections of the ship itself. And so we're really trying to see what are our limits.
Oh my
Doing this
gosh,
over
that is
completely
not good at all.
empty area over the Earth. Look at our Raptors there. We are assuming we make it all the way down to the ocean in one
Look at
piece.
the
We will attempt
orientation
to
on
flip
that thing.
and a landing burn.
Around
We
70
do
kilometers now.
have
70
at least
kilometers.
one buoy, everybody's favorite camera person, out in the Indian Ocean right now, being powered by Starlink.
This is not a great time to lag.
That's at our planned landing location. So if we're able to get any live views of the ship, that'll essentially tell you that we nailed our target. Able to do that on our 6th flight test, do it in the daytime, which was really exciting.
Oh my gosh. Uh-oh, that's really bad. Oh my goodness. Here we go. The fireworks
so
are
we're
coming.
about 10 minutes.
The fireworks are coming. The fireworks are here. Let's not forget though, fellas, that we did have a very good flight earlier. We have to give them credit for that. But right now, it's not looking really good.
Past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, so somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. For reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most of them fly at speeds between Mach 0.74 and Mach 0.85, so that's 480 to 575 miles per hour or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour.
And after transonic comes subsonic. That just means you're slower than the speed of sound. We're still well in excess of that right now.
We can see Earth. We can see the Earth. Look at that. We can see the clouds. We can see the clouds.
Now come back into view. One of the other things we're doing during this, and you're going to see Starship kind of pitch in some pretty, not extreme ways, but a little extreme, as we're trying to really stress the structure of the ship itself, specifically those aft flaps, so the ones in the very bottom of the vehicle. We're pushing not just how well does the heat shield hold up, but how well does the ship structure hold up. We are pushing it beyond essentially what we think we'll have to fly at to do something like a return to launch site. So again, may not be.
Holy goodness. Holy Starship Batman. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
10 minutes now until we start hitting transonic and then subsonic. Once we hit subsonic, we're basically just belly flopping.
I'm not really sure if that's good. It looks like it's spinning a little. We have 0.8 G forces on it. Our velocity is slowing down, but very shallow entry here.
All right, so about 55.5 minutes in, you can see the sun is up. Again, we intentionally designed these flights to lift off in the evening here so we get these daylight views so we can.
Okay, here's my assumption, alright. If the vehicle makes it through this phase, it gets through re-entry, there's a chance that it blows up during real light because I have no idea if the engine bay is gonna tolerate all that G forces on it during the flip and all that propellant going to the engines. So it's past peak heating. We might actually make it. We might make it. Hold on. Come on.
The flaps are controlling, so this movement you're seeing is that forward flap moving to try and just maintain control, maintain attitude of the vehicle as we're coming down. Checking in on one of our flaps. We got one of these cameras on all four of the flaps, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, giving us...
That's really, really bad. You can see the damage feeling through right there. She's skating the atmosphere. You can see she's skating the atmosphere like that. Altitude 59 kilometers. Yes, like I had a feeling we'd be going really shallow this time. Velocity is 18,000 kilometers per hour. You can even see those catch points. Let's hope it's not going out of control, alright? Is that yawn nominal? I don't know if it's losing control. A little bit of burn through. A little bit, my friend. The commentator said a little bit. I don't think that's a little bit.
We should be just about 5 minutes away until we hear that we're transonic.
She's yawing really hard, really hard at the left here. G-force is 1.4. 55 kilometers in, velocity 15, it's just below 16,000 kilometers per hour. We are slowing down rapidly. G-forces are building. Altitude is dropping fast. Pieces are falling off fast. Ship 29, we need you right now.
Still a little bit toasty on the aft skirt of the vehicle as we continue coming in.
Oh, the G-forces!
Again, we are intentionally stressing the flaps so we can learn all we can.
Come on.
All right, so now we're already well past peak heating.
Looks like it's reorienting again.
Just about 48, 49, counting down to 48 kilometers in altitude. Expecting that
Velocity is dropping really
transonic
fast now.
to come, so transitioning between the speed of sound and subsonic slower than the speed of sound in just a little under 4 minutes from now.
Wow, look at that damage. That's
right now
insane.
we've got kind of a lot of forward momentum, a lot of forward velocity, and then eventually by the time we hit subsonic.
Oh, looks like the heat's going down. The plasma.
Here we go. So this is what we've been talking about, where we are going to essentially try to fully deploy those aft flaps and really stress them out. So again, this is meant to test the extremes for the vehicle.
There's no way. Please don't lose control. Oh! Oh, you're breaking my heart.
All right.
Oh, holy goodness. Holy physics, Batman.
See those flaps
Holy
swinging
physics,
out?
Batman.
Again, we're putting ship through the ringer on this flight in.
Oh my goodness. That flap looks like charcoal. It looks like charcoal.
It's like we're still maintaining control.
Oh my Oh my goodness. There's no way. I'm not joking to you right now. My hands are literally shaking, and my heart
Alright,
sank
Flaps
when they
earning their
started
paycheck today, getting through.
when they started flipping the ship around like that. Almost gave me a heart attack. For goodness gracious. 40 kilometers and velocity is looking good so far.
And Sonic.
One cool thing to note as we get some of those views showing kind of the whole length of the ship, one of the changes we made after Flight 6 was to change the tile line a little bit. So we had kind of scaled back the number of tiles significantly, as when we go to catch these ships, you don't want to, I think as Elon said, you don't want to shuck the ship as you catch it and knock all those tiles off. So we knew we were going to have to kind of peel back that layer a little bit. And the first time we did it was on Flight 6, and we saw kind of wrinkling and dimples almost in the ship as we were creating these hot spots in the uneven parts of the heat shield. And so to kind of address that, we smoothed it out. That's why you've got kind of that nice smoothed out black line now on the ship. And just looking at it, we can see kind of a little bit of hot spot, a little bit of warping almost. Near the payload door, you can see a little bit of colored patina up above it, but we don't see those kind of deep, almost, they almost look like gouges on that.
My goodness, look at that. We're really slow now. Approaching transonic velocity. Well, about 31 kilometers. Minute away from being transonic.
Forward velocity is going to look like it's kind of falling off a cliff, and Starship will look like it's falling off a cliff as we essentially go into our belly flop. If you watched some of the high altitude tests or suborbital campaigns, we were able to test that. It was a pretty fundamental, like, can this thing actually fly? And we were able to prove that out with that suborbital campaign, and that's what we're about to see shortly here.
"25 kilometers, fellas. 25 kilometers. Velocity is really low." Whoa, what's that? Let's hope it's transitioning. Oh no, I'm just overreacting. Sorry. There we go. It's transitioning. Come on, don't let us down now.
All right, so at this point, we've dropped below the speed of sound, so Starship itself is subsonic. We are starting to chill the engines for a landing burn attempt.
That's an incredible shot,
Landing
not gonna lie.
flip
Really
supposed
good,
to
really good
start
shot.
in a little over 2 minutes. Subsonic Indian Ocean, we're on our way.
Starship is subsonic.
There we go. Farewell, space.
Oh my gosh, look at the damage on that thing. Looks like it just went through hell. Well, kinda did. Let's hope that thing can survive the flip maneuver. And
Right,
there's
so
so many
coming up in
pieces
just a
flying
little
off.
under 2 minutes, so we're
Look at
going to do the
pieces
flip
flying off.
and the burn. So we're only using those 3 center Raptor engines, the sea levels, the ones that can kind of gimbal, that can move around and steer. Dipping the nose down a little bit. Got 2 of our engines chilled in, waiting on 1 more. So again, we'll attempt to use 3 burns for that initial flip. We eventually go down to just 2 Raptors for the end of the landing burn.
We're at 6.7 kilometers. We're almost done. Look at those hinges working hard.
Just about 1 minute now from that landing flip and landing burn start.
Five km. 5 kilometers. Come on. Come on, you can do this. Please, look at that humidity.
Structurally, we're looking good. Got good pressures in our nose cone for
Come on.
everything.
Come on. Go.
Just about 30 seconds.
2.5 kilometers.
Again, we're going to look for the flip. So Starship's doing its belly flop right now. We're going to do the flip. Swing out. Let's punch through some clouds
Come on,
first.
2 kilometers. Oh! Oh no! Here we go, here we go, here we go. 1 kilometer to go.
Here we go.
Oh no.
Starship landing burn startup.
Landing bird, landing bird. Come on, fight it, fight it, fight it, fight
Seeing
it,
3 engines.
fight it.
There's
Fight
our
it.
flip.
Oh my god. Holy crap, holy crap. Are you sideways?
There's a buoy.
It made it to the
There's
ground.
a splashdown.
Holy crap. Boom. Oh, the little ship that could. The little ship
Hey.
that could. That was so Sigma right there.
Oh man, yeah. Farewell, ship 37. Thank you, buoy cam. Landing flip, landing burn.
That was
Splash
crazy.
out of the Indian Ocean. There we go. All right. That was pretty awesome.
Incredible
This is
flight
cool, right?
today for both
It
ship
went in
and booster.
sideways in the last
Yeah,
second there.
really incredible. So obviously we're excited here. It looks like everybody's excited over there. Tyler, how's it going over in Hawthorne?
We are super excited here in Hawthorne. It was another exciting Starship Flight test in the books.
Oh, man.
And we hope you enjoyed those Starlink.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy, bro. That was so crazy. That was really crazy.
It's a multi-planetary future. So that's going to wrap it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. It was it was great being with you today. Back to you guys.
That was absolutely incredible. Huge congrats to all the teams here. Again, we lifted off from Starbase, Texas, right at the top of our window at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We saw Booster successfully lift us up through ascent, had a successful hot staging where ship continued on with its suborbital trajectory. Booster came back down, had that boost back burn, and a successful landing burn with that,
Yeah, that was
unique
awesome.
engine configuration as well.
Yeah, and then ship continued on its way, made it all the way into space. We got to see first ever payload deploy.
So exciting.
That was awesome. We got the door open, 8 Starlink simulators deployed, relit that Raptor engine, and then on entry, we probably gave it a little bit of extra time in the oven, but made it all the way through re-entry. All 3 engines started up, landing flip, splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Promised maximum excitement. Starship delivered.
Most
So
definitely.
congratulations, all of our teammates here at SpaceX. It's been a year. Everybody that's worked on this program, this is what we're working for. So big congrats to all of them. Thank you to all of our future customers, too, for your support.
And we'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including the residents of its newest city, Starbase, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Be sure to stay tuned to SpaceX on X for updates, more of the views. This is just a tiny amount of the views. We have so many views that we didn't get to feature on the broadcast. So we're going to be going through that over the next couple of days, and we'll be posting it all there.
Yeah, if you're interested in more launch coverage, head on over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information. In fact, we actually recently rolled out a new departure board featuring our upcoming launches with details like mission name, launch and landing site, and liftoff time. So be sure to check it out.
All right. We just launched the world's biggest rocket. Again, dropped a couple satellites off, suborbital,
Incredible payload deploy for today.
nailed that double header into the ocean, splashdown, time to go through the data. Really crazy cool to hit all those objectives today.
Yeah, huge shout out to all the teams who make this look easy. And thanks to all of you for tuning in, and we will see you back here for Flight 11. Good night.
Holy crap, guys. I just have to say that I'm really proud of SpaceX because they redeemed themselves with this one. After Flight 8 and Flight 7 and Flight 9, everybody was betting their eyes on this one, especially Starship Flight 10. And they pulled through today. Let's just recap all the events so far. First, we had a very successful launch. Well, one engine out though. Successful booster landing in the Gulf of America. Successful in-space insertion. Successful Starlink deploy. Well, a dummy Starlink. Successful in-space relight. and a successful but really shaky re-entry. Like, we did all our objectives today. I'm not sugarcoating this for you. We did it. Well, they did it, not me. But like, it's so awesome. You know what I'm saying? My goodness, I have no words. I have no words. I guess that should wrap up our our commentary for today. I have nothing else to say. You saw everything transpired in front of all of you guys, and it was a very interesting flight. Like, especially during that re-entry, everybody thought it was gonna fail, but no, apparently not. It did very well. Can't wait to see the buoy views on that later from the SpaceX Twitter. But yeah, so that's it. That's it for today's stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely tune in to Starship Flight 11. Hopefully my schedule is free. And we'll see you all next time. That's it. Goodbye.